This is what I brought you, this you can keep. This is what I brought you, may forget me. I promise to depart, just promise one thing. Kiss my eyes and lay me to sleep. This is what I brought you, this you can keep. This is
Here, Dr. Hopper is explaining to us as a class the 4 R's: read, respond, react, and recover. In a game, we want to read our opponent's movements, and here he's demonstrating how to get opposite those movements. The getting opposite is the reacting to the opponent, the respond, the on-the-ball skill that we execute when they have the ball in our possession, and the recover, returning to a stable base position in order to, again, read the opponent, react, and respond. A continuous cycle until a point is either won or lost. After watching the demonstration, we went back into our partners and tried to mimic the intended movements. Note how we are all using different instruments, and this type of game is great because it can cross many different sports. It can be good for basically anything that involves moving, covering, and adjusting to an opponent's positioning on a court or field of play. Here, Dr. Hopper is explaining to the class probably one of the most fundamental drills or games in terms of creating a stable base platform from which to create off-the-ball reactionary movements. It's called the line game. In it, he's demonstrating with Ryan how when you have a staggered stance and bent knees, you can move in all 4 directions and respond to the direction of the ball and the movement patterns of your opponent, thereby giving you the optimal chance for success. Exaggeration games are made to create an environment that forces the learner to recognize the tactical awareness components of the full game or the game that is being exaggerated. Here we're playing a modified game of territory invasion in which there are 4 end zones rather than the typical 2 end zones. This game in particular exaggerates spreading the field wide in order to fully cover it in the defensive position as well as to exploit weaknesses in defense on offense. Teams that fail to properly cover the court either offensively or defensively are exploited by the opponents and make scoring opportunities very easily as they're able to sneak into end zones as we're about to demonstrate in a few seconds.
I'm on the pursuit of happiness, and I know everything is shining on the snow. I'll be fine once again. I'll be good.
In week 4, possibly my favorite week of the semester, we were given a template of a game that we were supposed to adapt or create our own based on one of the 4 game models: net wall, target, territory invasion, or batting and fielding. In this demonstration, we've got a cricket game and we've adapted it in terms of making it more suitable for young kids to play. Backswings aren't full, you can't come above your waist, and the ball has to be bowled, as it's called, or tossed with a straight arm rather than with an overhand throw. Only the 2 people are playing with each other against the rest of the field, who is then playing in defense, trying to catch the ball barehanded. It's a softer ball, another adaptation that we used, and so it's easier to catch and then throw without the use of a glove or anything like that. We started off thinking we were doing well, but Dr. Hopper, as you'll see, quickly pointed out that we weren't really developing any of the tactics involved. We were basically just hitting the ball back and forth and running between the wickets, basically just playing cricket in a gym. Some of the things that you'll see in the next bit emphasize some of the things that we can use to promote tactics, such as hitting to open spaces, hitting to corners, hitting to places where the defense has a hard time getting to and away from. And then in the last shot, you'll see the final game in all its glory being produced and played by people who haven't played the modified version or the beginning version before and are for the first time seeing a modified game of cricket. Here you see us setting up different styrofoam hurdles, cones, baskets, and things like that around the court to promote hitting to various areas, hitting deep, hitting far, hitting to corners, and making it harder for the defense to adequately cover and get an out. Some things that we also wanted to promote were hitting towards the backfield or hitting away from the rest of the gym, so we had them on the wall and On the far side is the final product of our game, where we have unexperienced cricketers playing and hitting towards targets, as Alex Jones has just done.